Hi, this is James of Mega Life 21, the hardest hitting internet talk radio station on the planet. And I'm here at the Newsletter Censored Research Center in northeastern New Jersey. Okay, and I'm here with the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. And we were discussing before about the way retailers lie to you and they get away with it. You can check us out at our websites, www.myspace.com/megalife21 and www.youtube.com/megalife21. Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, I was interviewing a man who is a teacher at the Eastwick College it's a business school and medical school, medical courses they teach there in Hackensack, New Jersey, and he's a retired podiatrist that turned teacher, and he told me a story, and this is connected to health care, but it's not about health care reform because we've beaten that subject to death, and I don't want to sound redundant. We spoke enough about health care reform, and I don't want to get upset talking about health care reform. But anyway, the man and his wife went to San Diego, California on vacation, and his wife wanted to go to Tijuana, Mexico to purchase some tubes of what they call Retin-A. It's a dermatological cream that is generally prescribed for acne, but they use it as a wrinkle remover because I guess it sloughs off the outer epidermis of the skin. So they went to Tijuana, and he described Tijuana to me. He said it was a very dirty city with a big fountain in the middle, and all you see in Tijuana is a drugstore and a restaurant. A drugstore and a restaurant. So anyway, she got the Retin-A, and the Retin-A was like extremely cheap. It's like $1 or $2 a tube or something. And then he looked at other medications that normally sell for $30 a bottle in the United States and much higher. Expensive antibiotics that normally sell for $1 per capsule or per tablet in the United States. And everything in this border town of Tijuana in Mexico was dirt cheap, like $2, $3, or less. It was astronomically cheaper, which proves why so many retired people in the United States, senior citizens who are living on a fixed income, why they go to Canada and Mexico to get their prescription drugs without a prescription, over the counter. There are special plane flights and buses that specifically take seniors over the border, either Canada or Mexico, to get their medications that they need, that they require, at an extremely low and very affordable price without a prescription, over the counter. So the point he made was just how much massive profit the U.S. drug companies make and how much they screw people out of with the sale of prescriptions in the United States. It's unbelievable.
Well, that's what they did with the Medicare Part D. They would not allow, the law would not allow Medicare to compete with the drug companies so that the drug companies' prices for their drugs would be lower. It was written in the law that they could not do that.
Okay.
Deliberately, so that the drug companies could continue with their exorbitant prices in America, selling to Medicare and people on Part D.
Right.
See.
Unbelievable. And you were mentioning the feeble excuse that the drug companies have for their high prices.
Research and development, yes. We need all that money for research and development. The fact of the matter is, most of the drugs are researched by us, the taxpayer, and we give it to these private industries, and then they get patents for 17 years, or they want it more now. They want to extend the patents so they can gouge you for more years.
Yeah.
You see.
Sounds like conservative right-wing corporate America to me. Nothing but greed. But yeah, that's their excuse. All the many years and the the massive amounts of money required for research, and people are fooled by that excuse. You know, people believe it; they buy into it. That's their that's the excuse for them charging a very high amount of money. But any greedy corporation in a conservative free market capitalist country, they all have feeble excuses, ridiculous excuses for why they rip off the public and why they price gouge. Perfect example, one of the pet projects of G.W. Bush, I believe, is Colombia, South America. They have a pure right-wing conservative free market capitalist system where there's no social programs, there's no middle class really. You just have the rich and corporate, which controls and owns everything, and then you have the poor, and
they do all the work.
Yeah, and if you're sick and you go to the emergency room, they let you die outside the hospital if you have no health insurance or money. You know, you're allowed to die quietly, probably, outside the hospital, not even dying inside the hospital. But that's an example of pure right-wing conservative free market capitalism. You know, total corporate control.
Yeah, free market for the corporations means that they're free to do anything they want.
Yeah, that's what the free market means. They could lie to you, they could mislead you, they could steal from you without retribution.
Right.
And you have no power because the country is controlled by the elitists, by the corporations. You know, and like you said in the past, they love socialism when it comes to corporate bailouts.
And subsidies and no taxes.
No taxes, offshore tax havens, not paying their fair share in taxes.
They love that.
They love that aspect of socialism when the money's going to them, but
don't give anything to the poor or middle class. They don't do that, no, because then they won't work for slave wages.
Yeah, I mean when it comes to handouts and social programs or socialism, like example, national health care, for the little guy, there's a big problem with that, big catastrophe with conservatives. You mentioned it with cash for clunkers. Why, the conservatives are complaining about cash for clunkers too?
They complain about anything that the government gets involved in. But
except if it has to do with corporate bailouts.
Yes,
to them.
Yeah.
Then
that's a good use of taxpayer money. It's a good use of taxpayer money to pay over $1 trillion for the defense budget to give to big corporations all that money given to them for weapons that will never be used,
right?
Don't need to be used,
right?
Aren't needed for any wars or anything, but they go to the big companies, Lockheed, Boeing, Martin Marietta, or whatever. You know, that's good. That's okay.
Well, the conservatives love to piss away tax money on either bailing out corporations or on weapons, because I guess the military is their way to install their corporate globalization plan.
That's what it's used for.
Their world takeover by corporations.
Yeah.
So across the board, free market for companies to lie and mislead and steal from you, including the drug companies that we just mentioned before, the story about seniors are forced to go to, Canada or Mexico and buy over the counter cheap, and to every aspect of a free market capitalist society, from auto companies lying to you and overcharging and gouging you. It could be gasoline in the summertime going sky high. Across the board, there are many examples, tiny examples like we showed you in the other video with the bamboozled, being bamboozled by the so-called lucky Chinese bamboo. It's not even bamboo, and it's not even from China. But anyway, it's unbelievable. Anyway, we'll catch you on the next video.